Columns buckled this week inside a Midtown Manhattan office tower at 235 East 42nd Street, forcing the evacuation of several nearby buildings and disrupting one of the city's busiest thoroughfares during peak tourist season. Now, a New York Times investigation is raising serious questions about the private firm responsible for inspecting the building's safety. The tower was in the middle of an ambitious conversion, transforming from an office building into a 37-story apartment complex. Before the columns failed on the 21st floor, a company called Domani Inspection Services had conducted multiple inspections of major structural work at the site. Records show Domani certified the safety of high-strength bolting, steel welding, and other structural changes tied to the project. It's still not clear whether any of the work Domani inspected actually contributed to the column failure. But the Times review found a troubling pattern. Domani has repeatedly been cited for missing warning signs at other building projects across New York City. According to city records, the Department of Buildings accused Domani of violations 3 separate times between 2012 and 2017, including conducting unlicensed concrete testing and failing to report a facade collapse. 2 of those cases were ultimately dismissed, while the third led to just a $1,000 fine. And in 2019, the firm was accused again of failing to properly carry out its inspection duties. Special inspection agencies like Domani play a critical role in New York City's construction process. They're hired by property owners to verify that specific tasks, like welding or bolting, are done correctly, and they sign and stamp official reports attesting to that work. The city requires their sign-off before large projects can be marked complete. In other words, these firms are a key safety check in a system that relies heavily on private companies policing themselves. The building's developer, Metroloft, is also facing new scrutiny. The company has been a major player in New York's push to convert underused office towers into much-needed housing, a strategy many see as a creative fix for the city's ongoing housing shortage. But this incident has cast a shadow over that approach, raising questions about whether safety oversight has kept pace with the wave of conversions. The Times investigation behind these findings was extensive. Reporters conducted dozens of interviews with engineering experts and city officials, reviewed hundreds of pages of Department of Buildings documents, and analyzed millions of rows of city violation records to piece together Domani's track record. For now, the exact cause of Tuesday's column failure remains under investigation. But the revelations about Domani's history are likely to intensify questions about how the city vets the private firms entrusted with keeping construction sites and the buildings New Yorkers live and work in safe. That's the story out of Midtown this week. Thanks for listening.